Now look, I'm not going to make this video all about Fallout. I'm not going to make this video all about Bethesda. Frankly, the developer Obsidian and this game itself deserve better than that. But it's hard not to make some comparisons. It's hard not to talk about Bethesda's recent efforts in the face of this game. I will certainly say that if you've been left feeling cold, if you've been left feeling dejected by Bethesda's, frankly, pathetic handling of the Fallout series in recent years, and if you've been, fairly let down by that thing that we could charitably call a video game, Fallout 76, then The Outer Worlds is most certainly what you've been waiting for. It is a spiritual successor to Fallout New Vegas. It basically is, but with a brand new world and narrative added to it. And it's ruddy bloody brilliant, I don't mind telling you. I think The Outer Worlds is just fantastic. It basically is Fallout New Vegas in a whole new universe with a whole new story, and it's better. In many ways, it's more robust, it's more stable. Bethesda wasn't breathing down their necks, making them rush it, and consequently, it is nowhere near as buggy. I haven't encountered any bugs playing it so far. It's feature-rich, it's got great gameplay, really nice guns, fucking excellent writing. Let's shine a light on that right now. Basically, you were a prospective colonist and you got abandoned in space, and then you woke up and space capitalism has taken over everything. Corporations own the planets, they own the colonies, they own the frontier, they own the human beings that are out there, and treating them like... The game is really bleak. It's witty, and there's some good humour in there, but it's also incredibly bleak, as it shows the sheer inhumanity of a corporate-led world. It pulls no punches, it is on the nose, it's about as subtle as a dildo sledgehammer, and I'm okay with that. I'll take unsubtle. A very early quest involves people having to rent their own grave sites while they're alive, and the town had to club together and pay for the gravesite of someone who killed themselves, because killing yourself is considered damaging company property. So suicide is vandalism. And bugger me in a mouldy shed if that doesn't sound like what corporations want. Am I right? Am I right, you bastards? Am I right? That's how they see us. That's how they see us. Boot heels, etc. Speaking as someone who quite famously despises corporations and the despicable duplicitous fiefdoms that they've carved this world into, I am all on board for constant, never-ending, satirical takedowns of late-stage space capitalism. And weaving throughout all that is some really nice characterization. The companions you can meet along the way, you can build up a little crew for your ship, the Unreliable, and you can take two characters out with you when you go adventuring. One early companion, Parvati, has this little romance subplot with another character, and it's just really sweet as she navigates her personal disinterest in physical intimacy while being head over heels in love with this other lady, and deals with her own social anxiety, and you kind of help her out, and you can take her out for a drink and discuss all that, and it's just really just lovely. And many of the characters you meet along the way, the friendly ones at least, are simply adorable. The companions you bring along the way will have further characterization as they talk to each other, and they can also get involved with the conversations you have when you deal with other NPCs. They don't just silently sit around, they actually chip in, and the NPCs might actually retort back to them. An absolute ton has gone into the dialogue and the writing, and it shows. I hope you like good gameplay. If you don't, you'll be disappointed, because The Outer Worlds features lots of good gameplay. First of all, the character building is excellent. Stats up the wazoo. You can tailor a character to suit pretty much any playstyle, any approach you want. You can make them stealthy. You can make them proficient in various types of weaponry. There are individual stats that you can upgrade for melee weapons, different types of those, heavy weapons, handguns, long guns. There are options for personality traits. My personal favourite options are all the charismatic ones, where you can upgrade your ability to lie, to persuade people, to intimidate people. And that's not just for dealing with NPCs, that's not just for dialogue, that impacts combat as well. If you upgrade those stats, the dialogue stats, it will give you abilities in combat to, make human enemies cower and flee, to convince robot enemies to start fighting other enemies instead of you. Everything has this lovely little subtle effect. And there's all the other stuff as well, being able to pick locks and hack computers. There's no tedious minigame associated with that. As you upgrade those stats, you need less materials to upgrade, and you need less materials to hack items, hack objects, and it takes shorter to do, and you can, obviously interact with higher level objects and doors and safes and all of that. The gunfire is all good. The weapons are fun to use. They all feel weighty and meaty. Rather than VATs like you'd have in, Fallout, you can just slow time down. But as you upgrade and progress, you will be able to target body parts in slow motion that will have various effects. Like you can shoot at the legs to slow them down, shoot them in the face to blind them. And it just works better than VATs. It doesn't break up the game so much. And even though it's fairly similar to bullet time and all of that, it just works better. It's just better. The companions along the way will have their own abilities, and you can, they're on a cooldown, and you can command them to do them. As you're seeing here, Parvati has a big hammer, and will smash that. Ellie will fire her own gun with, fanning the hammer. What a good game this is! Sorry, I was trying to drink and talk at the same time. I don't know why. I'm just trying to get all of my thoughts out. What a good game this is. What have I forgotten? Visually, it's great. There are lots of different planets, and they all look and feel different. Very brightly coloured, very garish, but I like garish, so that's okay with me. By the by, I recommend filtering the quests by planet, by location, rather than in order of main quests and side quests, because this isn't one big consistent world. You hop from planet to planet, so it's more convenient to know what you can do based on which planet you're on. Otherwise, because I didn't know you could filter that at first, and I was going through all of the quests in order, saying, okay, which ones are on which planet, which quests are applicable to where I am right now, but you can actually filter that. I've really got very few complaints. There's a weapon degradation system, and I'm never fond of those. It's not the worst one I've seen. You're constantly breaking weapons up anyway. You find weapons and armor all over the place, and you're usually scrapping those for parts, and they can be used to repair your gear. I don't see a need for weapon degradation. I really don't. But even then, it's not a major criticism in this, because there are far more egregious ones. I don't know if I've got a bad thing to say about it. I really don't. I mean, I absolutely adored New Vegas. In spite of its bugs, in spite of its many breakages, that game kept crashing for me. And I still really, really loved it. And this is that, but even better. It plays better. It looks nicer. Its combat is richer and more fluid. And one thing I should point out, no microtransactions, no monetization going in here. I didn't even see a deluxe edition or a special edition or anything like that. They weren't even screwing around with pre-order bonus items or the like. They just, and this is unfathomable these days, they just made a video game and sold a video game. Can you believe, can you comprehend? The game just stands on its own merits as a fully complete package at a regular price, with so much having gone into it. So many quests, so much dialogue, so much writing, so many guns, so many enemies, so many worlds, just so much. The Outer Worlds is so much. And compared to all the other AAA games out there from far larger studios working under far larger publishers, it comparatively asks for so little. And if that isn't the biggest statement on capitalism this game makes, I don't know what is. I've been glued to The Outer Worlds since it came out, pretty much. It is exactly my kind of thing. Narratively, it's validating, because, again, as I said, I'm very anti-corporate. If you watch my other work, you'll know. I go after companies all the time. I can't get enough of criticising capitalism for what it does to people, and how it influences the market, and the short-sighted, greed-fueled, inhuman nature of it all. I do all of that, and this game is very much like Shakedown Hawaii, the sort of thing I play play, and I'm like, yes, other people see it too, and they're making games about it. And just the fact that the dialogue attributes that you can upgrade impact more than just talking to NPCs. That feels like it was made just for me. As someone who, whenever I do play D&D, I do high charisma characters with dialogue skills that become useless later on because all the enemies become zombies and shit that don't listen to you. Seeing a game rewards an investment in more charismatic skills, that just suits me down to a T. But then every skill is useful. Every skill has additional perks and bonuses added to it. Oh, and there are perks, individual perks, that give you other upgrades. And floors! I forgot the floors! At points during the game, you'll be offered the option to choose a floor, like a fear of dogs, or space dogs, canids in this case, that will give you various contextual stat debuffs and penalties, like a fear of heights. So if you're high up, you start losing like a couple points in your attributes, but in exchange for a perk point that you can then put into one of your passive bonuses. That's great! I wish I hadn't said yes to the drug addiction one, but it's still great. That's just quality role-playing right there. The Outer Worlds is fantastic. I'll leave it at that because I will just start rambling. The Outer Worlds is fantastic. So you can shove that up your ass.